Now, it is an irony that today we have to introduce this Bharat to our people, to our own people. Just about less than 2 weeks back, we had a workshop, call it a workshop, is a fashionable expression, of about 200 young students, masters and PhD from all over Tamil Nadu at Raj Bhavan under this very theme, Ore Bharatam Unnat Bharatam. And at the introduction, when they were told that they have been invited there to understand this country, many of them were very skeptical. I said, what is that you are telling us? Don't you think that we know India? We know India. But by the time the lunch break, there was a significant change. And by the time the first day session concluded, they kept insisting me to extend it by one more day, 2-day session may not be enough. Because they said that, look, and they were all masters and PhD students taken from all over Tamil Nadu. They say, we didn't know about this country, what has been told, with all the facts, all the details. So this is the irony. Just about 200 years back, to be precise, 220 years back, when the last Maratha ruler of Tanjore, Sarfoji, he wrote a letter. He was the last when the British took over. His letter is of 20th of January, 1801. The British resident was Benjamin Torrin. He writes that, well, now that you are taking over this entire territory and its control, let me request you one thing. The very first of our ancestors, he have built a large number of chatram from Kashi to Rameswaram. Kashi, Awadh, which is Lucknow, Delhi, Aurangabad, Pune, these are all mentioned in the letter. We have built large number of chatrams. We have given such a large endowment to these chatram for thousands of people, the travelers and pilgrims, those who go from Kashi to Rameswaram, both ways. I hope that you will not dismantle that, because it will be a disgrace which will be difficult for me to bear with. And that there he mentioned that travelers would get 3 meals a day and treatment, medicines, because some of them would be hurt in the course of the traveling, the journey. Chain of institutions coming from last several hundreds and hundreds of years. People from Kashi to Rameswaram or Rameswaram to Kashi used to travel. After that, of course, the British, they dismantled, they took over all the land, all the endowments, and the chatrams perished. Now in these 200 years, so much has happened to erase our history, to erase who we are, that now we have to take an effort to introduce our country to ourselves. Some decades back, I was in Guwahati, earlier known Kamrup. In the 15th century, there was a great saint, Mahapurush Shankar Dev. He lived for 119 years. Yes, you have heard me right. 119 years, and he lived a very healthy life. He is the one who established the chain of Vaishnavite, monasteries called Satram all over Assam. At the age of 30, he traveled from Kamrup to Rameswaram for a study. Because those days, Rameswaram was not only just a place of pilgrimage, but also a center of higher learning. He came, he studied, then he returned to Kashi. He studied for a longer period. He came back. And one of the first poem he composed was Dhanya Dhanya Bharat Bhumi. This notion of India created by the foreigners has eclipsed the very idea of Bharat. The connect between Kashi and people of this land, Tamil Nadu, has been thousands and thousands of years old. We all know that Lord Rama, how he worshipped Lord Shiva at Rameswaram. We know the story. Even in various Purans, our Adhinam, he mentioned about Silpadikaram, Mani Mekhla, Yes, they are rich, they are full of mention of Kashi, Ujjaini, Mathura. They are all mentioned in these literature. Connect. But even Rishi Agast, who is the patron of Tamil literature and Tamil grammar, who preceded Tolkappiyar, he came here from Kashi. And the story goes that Vindhya, the mountain was rising, the one with that runs through east-west of India, Bharat. And it was a cause of worry. So Rishi Agast, he traveled from Kashi. And while traveling, he told Vindhya, don't grow now anymore. Vindhya told, I will wait till you return. That is the lesson. He came here and he spent his time, he didn't return. Skanda Puran is full of this description. Brahmanda Puran talks about Kanchi and Kashi being two eyes of Lord Shiva. Kashi and Kanchipuram were great centers of astronomical studies. In 1772, a team of British astronomers, Barkers, Adams, and some others came, and they went through the documents, astronomical data kept at Kashi Observatory. And they were amazed that the document about the planetary position, it went back to 3102. Since then, they had all the charts of various disposition of the planets, nakshatra. And there he finds that there is a great similarity between the document which are found at Kanchi, observatory here and there, and how there was a connect. Later, Professor John Flair of Edinburgh University, a professor of astronomy and mathematics, he came, he studied, and then he published a paper, presented the paper at the Royal Society, London. The name of the paper was Astronomy of the Brahmins. That is how they used to use the language. And there he says that, look, Indians were aware of, at the time, that Jupiter had 4 planets. Saturn had 7 planets. The Western world had not known more than 5 planets of Saturn. It was only much later in 1787 that Herschel discovered the 6th planet, which is named after Herschel. But the inspiration that went was from Kashi and Kanchipuram. We have been so much indoctrinated by Western thinking that a nation has to be one which has to be called, which it was conquered by a king and the sovereignty over the nation. This is a European concept, that they're all the time they were fighting, controlling territory, and the king was sovereign. Bharat is not the product of any king or any conquest. Bharat is a civilizational and cultural evolution that happened over thousands of years, built by our rishis, built by our Sanatana Adhyatma. Saptapuri, when we mention about Saptapuri, we don't forget to mention Kashi, Ayodhya, Mathura, Maya, Avantika, Kashi, Avantika, Dwarika. They were all the Saptapuris, which every person must visit in their lifetime. People used to travel from one end to the other, Kashmir to Kanyakumari, to Kamrup to Kutch, unmindful of who was the king, which was the kingdom. As I mentioned, Sarfozi letter, from Kashi to Rameswaram, how a chain of Satram were created and supported by the endowment of the villages or the travel of the people. This was Bharat. Bharat, in Bharat, even unlike the West, even kings are not sovereign. In Bharat, sovereignty lies with Dharma. If king has to follow his own Dharma duty, if the king does not follow that Raj Dharma, he is to be removed. What happened in the 200 years of colonization? It has been made a stranger to us. And there is a need to reintroduce this country to our own people. And it took a visionary leader like Prime Minister to have thought of it and said, look, let's do it. Such bold experiment can come only through such bold leader. In this, the program which has been worked out, Professor Kamakoti has already given a snapshot. More and more people will be part of it. They will be visiting. They will be seeing Kashi, the living evidence of how Tamil Nadu lives in Kashi. It's not that it only lived in the past, it lives even today. It will be a revealing experience. And I would urge our people to very enthusiastically participate. Come over. See for yourself how large, how magnificent, how great your country Bharat is. That is the objective, that is the intention behind this Sangamam. It is nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with any kind of ism. It is just introduction of our own country to our own people, to ourselves. And I'm sure, under the leadership of IIT Madras and BHU, Kashi, these two, and with the cooperation of our people, this event for 1 month would be very, very enriching and very, very path-breaking. Thank you very much, my friends. Thank you. I wish all of you the very best. Thank you.